in C. So what is structure? Structure is similar to array. In case of array, we are storing same data type items under the common name. In structure, we are going to store different heterogeneous data elements under the common name. So structure is a user defined data type that enables us to store the collection of different data type. So each element of the structure is called as a member. We are going to use the keyword structure to define the structure. So this is how we define the structure. Structure name, and inside the curly brackets we are going to declare all the members. That can be each and every members can be different data types. So this is what is structure definition. Here is the example for structure employee. And inside the curly braces we are having the details about employees like employee ID, char employee name, float employee salary. So this is the definition of structure for employee. Moving on to declaring the structure variable. So we can declare a variable for the structure so that we can access the member within the structure. So for doing this, there are two ways. One is by using the structure keyword defining within the main function. Another one is declaring while defining the structure itself. To understand these two lines, let us see this first way. This first way is this one, using struct keyword within the main function. This is this syntax for defining the structure. Now the structure has been defined. So to declare the structure variable inside main function, you have to use a struct employee name and the variables. These are the structure variables E1, E2. So these two variables are used for accessing the member within the structure. So next way is declaring the structure variables while defining itself. So this is the definition of the structure. And defining itself, you are declaring the variables of the structure. Using this you can access the members of the structure. So this is the structure variable declaration. Moving on to accessing the structure members of the structure. How to access the members within the structure? The most common way is by using dot operator. In case your program contains a pointer, then you have to go for this arrow that is used to access the member within the structure. So this is the example of the structure. Hash include std_h, hash include string.h. Here the structure is defined and declared. Structure employee ID, employee name, and we are closing the structure. Employee structure variable is E1. So main function is opened, and inside the main function we are using dot operator to access the member within the structure, that is ID, and we are assigning the value as 101, and we are copying the name E1.name as some name that has been copied to E1. After the initialization is done, using printf you are printing the value of employee ID and employee name, finally returning 0 and closing the program. So our output is employee ID and name is printed. Next session is array of structures. So array of structure means defining collection of multiple structure variables. So each variable contain information about different entities. So the structure is going to be there is going to be many collection of structures. Each structure is going to store some detail about some details. So that is array of structures. So see this example to understand it clearly. Hash include std_h, hash include string.h. Here one structure has been defined. Structure student roll number and student name. In next inside main function we are declaring a variable as I, and the structure variable are initialized by struct keyword. Struct student, it is going to be 5 structures, array of 5 structures. So we are going to get the details of the 5 students. So we are each and every structure is going to hold the record about one particular student. That is array of structure. So enter the records. 5 records are got by help of the for loop. By the help of for loop we are getting their roll number and name, and we are scanning it here, and finally using printf we are printing the student information list, another for loop, and it is printed. Finally our output has been displayed to the user. So as to user has asked to enter the roll number and the name. 5 records has been entered, and the information list has been finally displayed and shown to the user. So this is all about array of structures. So for accessing the members within the structure we are using dot operator. That is the one point you have to see in structures. Okay, moving on to nested structure and C. Nested structure means structure within structure. C provides a feature of nesting one structure within another structure by using which the complex data types are created. This is how you using this concept only you will create some complex data types. For example, you may need to store the address of an employee in a structure. So these address will have many attributes like a city, state, and pin code, which is a subpart, as a street number. This is a subpart. So one main structure for storing the employee name, ID, number, etc., and another subpart that is going to be another structure is going to be created for the address, so that a city, state, and pin code will be stored. So that is nesting of structure within a structure. See this example, you will understand it clearly. So before going there, see the syntax. Structure 1, open curly, int a1, close the structure 2, open curly, int a. So this is one structure, and this is going to be our main structure. Inside main structure we are creating the object, that is variable name for this structure. So structure 1 object. So this is the structure variable name for structure 1, and for this structure 2 the variable has been created here. So to access the member within the the nested member, the syntax is here. To access the member within the structure 1, the syntax is object1 dot object dot a. So this name dot a1, that will be used for accessing this variable a1. That is what the concept of nested structure is. See this example program. Hash include stdio.h structure address. The address is going to be containing members like city, pin, and phone number, and another structure is going to be employee, that is containing name and address. Name, and the another thing is for this address we are creating the variable name. Structure variable name is created here. Then main function has been opened. Inside main function, for the main structure we are creating the variable here, structure employee emp. So enter the employee informations. In scanf we are scanning the employee1.name and employee1.address.city. So we are, since we are nesting, we are using both the structure names, and then we are accessing city, then both the variable names .pin, emp.add.phone number. So all the variables are scanned, and using printf we are printing all those values in the same way. That's all. So finally close curly, and output is the details are Arun, Delhi, and the pin code has been entered and some phone number has been entered. So finally printing the employee's information and shown to the user. So this is the end of nested structure. Next, moving on to the concept of passing structure to function. So it is possible for a structure to be passed as a parameter through functions. So how it is done? That is that we will see in this program. Hash include stdio.h structure address. This is one structure having city, pin, phone number as a members. This is another structure having name, and the variable for the another structure has been created inside it. And since we are going to pass the structure through function, where the function is declared here. So using function we are going to print the members of the structure. That is what the function plays here. Void display struct employee. So in void main we are creating the variable name for the main structure. Now the informations are asked to be entered. All the information has been got by scanf, and the information which has been got are passed to the function call. Using function call we are passing the function, and the function definition part that is defined outside of the main function, that is getting the structure variable, and it is stored in this emp. Finally we are printing all the informations which we have got. Employee name, employee.address.city, employee.address.pin, employee.address.phone, all is printed, and the program gets ended. Finally our output is shown in the shown to the user. So and employee details are entered and finally printed and shown to the user. So this is the concept of passing structure to function. Next, moving on to union. Union is like the structure, but the only difference is it is going to allocate the memory for the biggest data type alone, not allocating the memory for each and every members. It will allocate the memory for the biggest member within the union structure. That is what the union differ from structure. So union is similar way, that is a user defined data type that stores the different data type elements. So see this difference, you will understand it clearly. Structure employee, within that we are having many different data types, and for each and every data type the memory will be allocated. So totally 7 bytes, 1 plus 2 plus 4, char 1 into 2, float 4, which is going to be 7. But in the case of union employee, char x into y, float z, close curly, union variable declaration. This will give the memory for the biggest data type alone, that is 4 byte will be allocated for storing this entire union structure. That is the difference between union and structure. Moving on, advantages of union over structure. It occupies less memory because it occupies the size of the largest member only. Disadvantage of union is it will just overwrite the data that is previously written. Only data entered can be stored in union. Only last data entered that will be stored in union. It overwrites the data previously stored in union. So that is the biggest disadvantage of union. So coming to the definition of union, this is how we define union. Union name, within the curly braces the data members has to be written. See the example here, union employee. This definition is similar to structure definition. Keyword alone changes. You are using union keyword. And same, int id, char name, float salary, close the curly braces, semicolon. So this is the definition of union. Coming to the sample code, hash include stdio.h, hash include string.h. Here the union has been declared and the variable for the union is defined within the here int id and char name. E1 is the union variable name. So in main function, e1 dot id is stored as 101 and e1 dot name is stored with this name. By a string copy function we are using, and once copied, finally we are printing and showing the values to the user by the help of printf, finally returning 0 back to the program and closing the program. So employee 1.id is printed, employee 1.name is also printed. So this is about union. So that is the end of the structure and union. Thanks for watching this video. Please watch the next video to know about file handling in C. Please like and subscribe the video.